Welcome to the Arizona court system. Jurors play a vital role in providing justice to communities across our great state. Thank you for answering the call to jury service. The right to a trial by a jury of one's peers is guaranteed by the United States Constitution and the Arizona State Constitution. You also have a right to serve on a jury. Jury trials protect people's rights and help ensure that those involved in court cases are treated fairly and impartially under the law. As a juror, you are a direct participant in our country's democratic system. Arizona's court system serves as a model for judiciaries across the nation, and we constantly strive to improve our jury service procedures to make your experience more convenient and meaningful. If you have any suggestions or comments for us, please ask the staff in the room how to do so. Your time and dedication help our courts advance justice for all. Thank you again for your service, and remember, it was fair because you were there.
Welcome, and thank you for participating in jury service, one of the most valuable rights and responsibilities we have as citizens of the United States. This video will introduce you to the importance and general duties of your role in jury service in Arizona. Jury service has been a constitutional right since 1791. The Sixth Amendment to the United States Constitution guarantees a speedy, public, and fair trial for defendants facing criminal prosecution. Fairness includes placing decision-making in the hands of jurors who can be impartial. Now that you've arrived at the courthouse, registered, and are in the jury assembly room, what should you expect? You'll be introduced to the judge, who will explain the basics of the court process, and the juror selection process will begin. This is sometimes called voir dire, a French term that means to speak the truth. In the jury selection process, you may be asked questions to help determine if you're a good match for jury service in a particular case. These questions can range from simple to very personal. For example, have you ever received a ticket for speeding? What are your thoughts on marriage equality? Do you know any of the witnesses expected to testify at trial? It's important for you to be open and honest during this process. If selected, you will be relied upon to be a fair and impartial juror. Now that you have a better idea of the jury selection process and a little bit of jury history, let us introduce you to the key players in the trial. The judge supervises the courtroom and oversees trial proceedings. They make sure a trial is fair and make decisions based on the Arizona Constitution and Arizona law. The defense and prosecution are made up of attorneys who help their clients present their case. The courtroom clerk administers the oath to jurors and witnesses, marks all evidence presented, and creates a summary of trial proceedings. They also read jury verdicts once a decision has been reached. The bailiff is responsible for keeping order in the courtroom during the trial. The people or entities directly involved in the trial may be called the litigants or the parties. And jurors decide the verdict of a case after listening to witnesses and reviewing other evidence presented during the trial.
When I was summoned to possibly serve as a juror, I felt a sense of duty.
I thought the jury selection process was very organized and interesting, a little nerve-wracking, but also kind of exciting to go through all those layers of questions and ultimately get chosen. And we ended up with a very good, diverse group of people in the end.
Well, I feel that it's important to participate in the jury system when asked.
I felt that I was going to be a part of an important process that the system set up to provide a person with a fair trial.
Everyone feels like their voice is heard.
It helps in showing that our judicial system is doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Please don't get discouraged if you aren't selected to serve on a particular case during the jury selection process. There are lots of reasons why that may happen. It just means it wasn't your time to serve. In many cases, the presence of a jury will cause a case to come to a swifter end, as the litigants may reach an agreement before a ruling is needed. Your presence as a juror matters, regardless of the outcome. You may be designated as an alternate, where you could be called to serve at a later date, reassigned to a jury on another case, or you could be released and allowed to leave the courthouse. If you're selected to serve as a juror, the judge will explain the general rules you'll need to follow during the trial. Being on time and listening closely to both litigants will be fairly obvious rules. The judge may also cover less obvious topics, such as any limits on the use of electronic devices, including cell phones, tablets, and laptops, during the trial. The judge may stress that you should not conduct your own research or investigation about the case or talk to anyone about the case. To be fair and impartial, all the information about what happened should be presented during the trial, so that everyone has the same information before them. And while most cases aren't covered by journalists, the judge may instruct jurors to skip watching or reading news reports while serving on a jury. This may include social media, online news sites, and traditional media like local and national newspapers, television, and radio news programs. You could be asked to stay off social media altogether. The judge may also instruct you to control your emotions during the trial.
All rise.
Once the jury selection process is completed and the judge has explained their expectations, you'll be sworn in as a juror and the trial will get started.
When I arrived to the courthouse, everybody, the court staff, the judge, they all made me feel very welcome and at ease.
My experience on serving as a jury was very positive. I've done it twice in my lifetime.
Overall, my experience was very good. I was fascinated by the whole court process. It was actually kind of fun to see it happen in person. I know a lot of people don't look forward to jury duty. I feel like everyone should at least show up and go through the process, answer the questions, so that everyone gets a fair chance.
During jury selection, you'll learn of the time it might take to get through the trial. Most trials take 1 to 3 days, but some could go longer. No matter how long the trial takes, you will be compensated for mileage and at least $12 per day for the time you served. Your employer might even support your participation and pay your regular wage during jury service. Local court personnel can provide additional information or instructions about compensation.
What stood out for me was mostly participating in the judicial process. It felt like I was doing something important for our judicial system in our country.
I do feel like it was equal, fair, impartial. It was a community of our peers, and it's important to have that diverse group so that you can make sure that everyone's voice gets heard.
After the completion of the trial, I felt privileged. I felt honored to be a part of such an important process, to provide a person with a fair trial. I felt part of my country.
Your participation in jury service helps protect everyone's constitutional right to a fair and unbiased trial. We are hopeful that you will welcome the opportunity to serve. And when you're done, you should walk away confidently acknowledging, "It was fair because I was there." Thank you for being here today.